Welcome back to Spellbound Pages, where we talk fantasy, morally questionable love interest, emotional damage, and books that just ruin your lives. But in the prettiest possible way. Because, yeah, that's a thing. February felt just like stepping into story after stories that just reminded me why I do love reading. The kind of month where books weren't just escapes. They were truly amazing experiences. Some of them wrecked me, some of them surprised me, and some even healed something in me in a soft and unnamed way. So let's go. Let's break it down. This book felt like walking into a haunted house and just realizing halfway through that you just never want to leave. I wanted to be there, honestly. I love that kind of vibe and ambience. Gothic, airy, emotionally sharp. It does blend tension, yearning, and even vulnerability in a way that just sneaks up on you. But let's talk about the romance, because this is slow, addictive, and just quietly devastating. Beneath the demons and trials, it is overall about fear, control, and choosing softness and love anyway. This was the moment the series fully stepped into its power. And all those books before were truly worth it, even though I enjoyed all of them so far, to be honest. Because watching Lexi grow into her power, fully taking it, without even losing her humanity, made just the stake feel earned instead of flashy. And, of course, the relationship inside, no matter it was romantic or even the found family perfection of it, overall, it grounded the chaos into real emotional loyalty. And let's be honest, it is explosive as a book, but it is 10 out of 10, deeply satisfying. This one just healed something I didn't even know needed healing in me. And let's be honest, only like Elsie can do. So far, it's baffled me every time. Bash and Gwen's story is soft, in the strongest way. It is about boundaries, vulnerability, and choosing a connection without losing yourself. It is 100% relatable. At least for me it was. It just pulled my heartstrings. And the romance in this feels earned, not trashed. And the emotional payoff of the book just lingers. I love this book to bits. Now, did I love it as much as White Eyes? In all honesty, I think yes. Those are at the same category. I love them so much. Wild Card and White Eyes are my favorite book in this series. It was bittersweet, tender, and quietly powerful, and that ending was everything. Dark, chaotic, obviously. Please check your trigger warnings. And emotionally sneakier than I even expected. The circus settings feels entirely alive, like its own entity. And it pulls you not really softly, it just pulls you in completely. In a world that is glittering, yes, but also dangerous. Mostly dangerous. And Amber's journey balances trauma and a resilience in a way that does her depth beneath all the spice you can have in the book. And yes, it's smutty. Let's be honest too. At this level, it's more than 3 pp spice. So yes. And there is tension as well. It is definitely a wild ride, but it is also strangely heartfelt. I love that book. The tarot-based magic system is genuinely fascinating in this first book of a series, and it also is layered. I really love that. And while the world building in this first book felt sometimes a bit heavy, the emotional core of this book just kept me invested. Draven brings sharp tension and also reluctant connection. It is not truly enemies to lovers. We are more in a reluctant allies, hate to lovers here. But this promises everything in the next book. And let me tell you, I'm seated for the second one, whenever it comes out. It is imperfect, but it does have full potential. And I'm here for the next one. Yep. This one is fully into total darkness. And please check your trigger warnings, especially when it comes to sexual assault. It's just not mentioned once. It happens full scene several times in the book. So if you are not okay with that, you might just want to skip this one. Because this is definitely another level of psychological darkness. It does explore trauma in depth and expose it in scenes. Conditioning, grooming, yeah, a lot of that. And also obsession in a way that is truly intense. Let's be honest, toxic. It is not a comfortable book. Not at all. And I was uncomfortable more than once at one point. I really struggled to note that book between 2 stars, 3 stars, or 4 stars. But because of the ending, I ended up noting that book at 3.5. It is emotionally heavy, but it is also strangely compelling because underneath it all, it is well written. That's one of the only reasons that sometimes I just keep reading. It is strangely addictive and entertaining no matter what, and compelling to read, even though it is really uncomfortable. And it is a roller coaster that keeps you thinking about it long after. I cried. I was emotional. I went through tears, laughed a bit, felt for them, compassion. I felt everything, hatred for some characters. I felt everything in this book, so I couldn't put it under 3 stars. I cared. So there is that. Now, this was the perfect palette cleanser for Valentine's Day. Short, chaotic, funny, and unexpectedly adorable. It perfectly balanced revenge energy with humor and heart. It was fun, slightly twisted, and totally bingeable in one sitting, which I did. It's under 100 pages, so easy peasy. And honestly, I just wanted more of them. More pages, more story. I just wanted more. I had this for ages in my TBR read, and I did this as a buddy read with one of my best friends. It is moodily, clinical, and deliciously morally grey. It is a darker and more scientific take on vampire, which, strangely for a scientific take, was pretty funny at times. It's like you mix science with gothic obsession. Love that. And the dynamic between the main characters, Silas, damn, it's just overall sharp and addictive. Though at the end, I must say, Silas, you need to step up your game, bro. That's not giving. Because that ending was emotionally rude. It is a cliffhanger, but like, I need book 2. And yes, I will be reading book 2. Maybe not in April, but definitely in May, if not in April. No surprise at this point. I was flatbuster again. Sarah Jimas did it again, right? But it was a roller coaster. Like, it fully emotionally just take over my life. Farts, everything. The scale, the twists that I absolutely didn't see coming. But overall, also, the characters' dynamics. I love that we could see more of Tyrion and Ethan in this book, because Tyrion was already in the first book one of my favorite characters, and that we see more of it, more of his complex personality, his own story. That was everything to me. And in this book, I also understood finally the Rune's girly. Girl, I understand you now. I get it now. I think I developed a crush on Rune as well from this book. Hunt is still my number 1, but Rune? Yeah, I see you girlies now. I truly understand. Because all the characters' dynamics truly leveled up dramatically in this book. It is messy, intense, and deeply human overall, beneath all the chaos. And let's be honest, I am still recovering. Will I be reading the last book, the 3rd one, next month? Absolutely. Spoiler alert for a few minutes in this video. This was a surprise. A wintry fairy tale wrapped around grief, identity and choice. It is quiet, emotional, magical, and rooted also in the cost of becoming something larger than yourself, something you didn't choose for yourself, but it's still here anyway. And the romance is there, because there is romance, is deeply felt. Beautiful. It is restrained though, and entirely PG. It is a YA, so. But it is also very hopeful in the gentlest way. Please give it a shot. It will be worth your time. 100%. It is a fast-paced mythological fantasy with a heart. The training arc, the epic quests, and even the celestial politic just kept everything, the momentum, going strong. The only reason it is not a 5-star for me is because of the love triangle. It's not my favorite trope, and at times it just annoyed me a lot. Her indecision. And I just wanted to shoot at her. Girl, please open your eyes. Like, no. And the emotional stake just felt personal and grounded anyway. And I'm Team Prince. From the first chapter, I'm just Team Prince. This is definitely a lush and immersive journey, and you won't regret it. This was my first arc. It is messy, but it's also messy in the best way, because it is entertaining overall, and it lets you keep turning pages. It is more leaning romantasy with a white shoes, so poly relationship. And honestly, overall, the characters' dynamic just carried the story overall. even when the world building left me wanting more. But apparently it is not a standalone as I thought, it is a series, so maybe that makes sense that it will be developed in the next books. Honestly, this first book was enough in itself. If there is more, and this is just the first development, and I will have my answer in the next book, I'm in, because I wanted more world building. So if we get to see the other things I wanted to, then yes, that makes sense. It is also a drama-forward fantasy, romantasy more. There is definitely a mystery to solve and some tension around it, so that does bring also that. It is more focused on the relationship and the mystery solving than really the world building at this point, though there is some keys also about it. And those two things just keep you turning pages. It is a fun bingeable chaos. February just reminded me that stories don't have to be perfect to be anyway very powerful, because at the end of the day a book just have to make you feel something, right? At least for me. Now let's talk about my hopefuls for March, because I am so ready to discover my next obsessions. I know it was supposed to be in February, but I received the award for Elle's weapons, so here we are. It's just switch and it make it to March. And I'm gonna spoiler alert, I already read it and it was everything I didn't know I needed. Full review to come next month. Because this one is like one of those stories about becoming powerful in a world that just told you you weren't allowed to be. You are not allowed to be that powerful, especially as a woman. So yes, it is a bit misogynistic. And poetry as magic. A woman forced into survival would choose to become powerful instead of defeated. And I'm not just hoping, I know now that this one just hits. It hit me in the quiet, most devastating, heartbreaking ways. The kind that remind you that softness and strength can coexist, and also that monsters are made, not born. This is a buddy read with one of my besties. This does feel, I've seen the show, I've already seen the episode of this book. Now I am excited to read it, because I know not everything in that episode, right? Most likely. And I know it will be a story about letting yourself be loved out loud. And I definitely know it will be tender underneath the sport setting, which will be actually my first sport romance book. Maybe not actually. I think with the Elsie series, there was one sport romance. So actually my second one. But officially, like on the cover and everything, I feel this is my first one. But this first story is like something about choosing authenticity, even when the world feels like it's watching and you don't want to. You're not ready to come out. Because sometimes the bravest thing is not winning, it's to be seen. And strangely, that goes beautifully with the poet Empress too. It's with one of Fable Book Club. I think it's Amy's one. Romance-inspired vampires. Say no more, I'm in. And also arena trials. That already sounds chaotic in the best ways. But what really draws me into that premise is the resilience of someone not just fighting enemies, but fate itself. And I'm definitely hoping for a slow burn. Yeah. One that feels earned, and an heroine who just will refuse to disappear. Because why would she? This is my second arc, and I am so excited for this for one main reason. This is why I signed up for it. Because my first favorite fairy tale over them all was A Little Mermaid. And this is a kind of retelling of it. I am reading it currently right now as I'm filming and recording this. And so far it's pretty good. It's like, it's smelling like a 4 or maybe 5 star. But at least a 4 star definitely. So we shall see. We shall see. Maybe it's going even better. Because I'm just starting it, so. It does feel like a retelling of that fairy tale with teeth though. And I love that. Because it is a love story that starts with a mission. And it turns into something that will be real. And that kind of trope thing that just always get me. Goals and then vulnerability, hell yes. Especially when it's mixed up with a mystery and a looming heartbreak involved. Yes, I'm ready for it to break my heart as well. I am definitely hoping for ocean magic, and so far it is a bit shy, but it's like the first 100 pages, so I have high hopes still. Emotional tension, We have banter too. I've seen that. And I am definitely waiting for that moment where everything, and especially those two, stop being pretend. It is time to continue that series. I really enjoyed the first book so far. And going back into this world just feels like coming home at this point. And returning also to Unstorm, that's never really over. And I'm curious to see how power truly changed someone. No matter it is Alina or maybe the Darkling too, who knows? And what happens also when destiny starts asking for more than what you are willing to give? I'm definitely hoping for growth, messy choices, and also emotional consequences. Yep, I am ready. Like I said, of course, I am reading the last one out. Definitely. And I'm dreading a bit because this is my last book of Sarah J. Maas. Though I am rereading Akotar this year, so that's fine. That's totally fine. We got this. Because after the emotional devastation and takeover of the last book, I am both excited and slightly afraid. This feels like stepping into something bigger than the characters we know so far, where love, loyalty, and survival will all get tested at once. I know it's coming, and I'm definitely hoping for more chaos, reunions, and at least one moment that will make me stare at the wall afterward. And I think I will. I'm pretty sure I will. It's Sarah J. Maas after all, so... Yes, I'm continuing this series despite the last one, absolutely. Because, I mean, why not? And I'm actually expecting a lot of this one because I love this character so far. So I want to know more about him, you know. And this one feels like an exploration, a darker explanation, of course, of choices versus obligation. And I'm really curious to see how power dynamics would shift when revenge just turned into something way more complicated. I am definitely hoping for tension. I know it will be smatty, but I'm really hoping this one won't be just for shock value, way less than the last one. I am hoping it will tell something about freedom and also control. So, am I ready? I'm a bit dreading, but I'm also ready for it. It was time to continue this series too, and let's be honest, this is not my favorite series of this order, far from that. And this series so far, this specific one in the whole universe, just made me feel a bit meh overall, because one book was okay and the others were just a hell no for me. So that's already two books I didn't like in this series, specific one. So I just want to be over with it. Let's be honest, at this point I just want to be over with it, but at the same time I want to know what's happened next. So here we are. Let's give it a try. Another one. Maybe I will DNF the series if it's another no for me. Honestly, if I have a third no in this series, I might just as well. Because I know she have amazing other series in the same universe that I really enjoyed. And this one is just not it so far for me. So we'll see. Because returning to this overall universe, it feels like coming home to me. I really loved and enjoyed some of those series in the same universe. Just not this one so far so much. But with the premise, everything seems on fire in this one. There is a notion of fun family chaos mixed with magical conflict. And well, as the premise said, that does feel exactly my comfort zone. I'm hoping this time for sharp dialogue, emotional fun or pays off, please, and that familiar feeling of belonging in the middle of danger. Though, do I care enough about the characters at this point? I do not know. I do love Christopher though, so we shall see. It was time also to continue this series that I adore. Honestly, it's one of my historical pirate fiction. And this one feels like it will be love after damage, and whether two people can find each other again after everything has changed. I'm a bit scared. What do you mean? Don't do that to my babies. But I am hoping for angst that will lead somewhere meaningful, you know, and not just pain for the sake of it. And I do know usually Kennedy Sutton do that very well. So I'm not so worried. A bit, yes, but not too much. Because second chances always feel worth it when this is done well. And this is my last arc for the month. And honestly, when I read that premise, I was all in. So that's why I signed up. But let's hear this one out. This is arranged marriage. So you already know why I signed up, right? Just with that. Yeah. Hear me out. This is arranged marriage with the number one feared enemy, Commander. I think I sold it to you with just that, right? To me, it was sold. Just that. And I was done for. So yes, please. Get it to me. I'm gonna eat that up. But more than the trope, I am definitely hoping for a story about questioning everything you were taught and about discovering truth in places you were taught to fear. And the kind of romance that grows slowly. Maybe also they will try to unalive each other if it's enemies to lovers. Otherwise, it's not truly enemies to lovers, but we shall see. And the kind of romance that exists in the space between loyalty and also self-discovery. So I'm all in for that too. Please bring it on. If you have read any of this, or if that inspired to put any of this in your to be read, please tell me in the comment. I want to know which one. I'm a busybody like that. Because I do love to establish bad bookish decision or the best one, as you know. And if you do have recommendation for me that are on your to be read this month or that you loved last month, please put it also in the comment for me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That will mean the world to me. And I see you soon for more Spendbag Magic.